Coming to you live from a garage in Gainesville, Florida, like two muertos de hambres, it's El Cuban Dudes Show with Andy and Abel. From the 305 to the 352, from Miami to Gainesville to Orlando to Tallahassee to Jacksonville and beyond. It's time for El Cuban Dudes Show of Florida. Dale! Welcome to another episode of a Cuban Dudes Show. This is episode 13 here on the 15th of April, 2024, coming to you live from Gainesville, Florida, with my boy, like usual, Abel Cepeda, which I like to say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. That's not my way of doing it. Say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
Today we got a great show. Today we got a Hollywood director.
Yes, sir. We do.
Look at us pulling weight like that, having a Hollywood director on with us.
Dropping some names.
Agyapong with us. And I will make sure to ask him when he's on if I am indeed pronouncing his name correctly, because I want to make sure. So far, I will go with, you worked with him.
Yes.
Agyapong, is that correct?
Yes.
There you go. All right, so I'm good. We got Agyapong today, and he's going to be talking about his upbringing, his getting into directing, just how he got started. We're going to be talking about some of his past projects as well as his upcoming project, the very exciting Collateral Interest, which comes out tomorrow,
Woo-woo!
April 16th, and that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. Which by the way, this week we are hold on before you do it, Abel. Before you do it, let me make sure my thing is we are in Collateral Interest Week. Collateral Interest Week. Okay, there. So that's going to happen quite a bit this week. Every time we say Collateral Interest Week, Abel presses the button. I do the thingy, but Abel wasn't ready for me to do it again. So we got yeah. But before we get into the conversation with our Hollywood director friend,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about just what is going on in the world, Abel. Man, did you see the news about Israel being attacked by Iran?
Yeah. Like about what, like 400 drones and missiles and all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm not sure. I didn't read too deeply into it, to be honest with you, because
Okay.
life, and I got mouths to feed and things to do and jobs to uphold and shows to prep for. But I read, I think in general, that it seems like some people are saying that it's not a real attack. Some people saying that it is an attack. Some people are saying that it was just kind of like un ensayo. You know
Oh,
what I
really?
mean,
Like
or whatever.
rehearsals.
Yeah, rehearsals.
The rehearsals.
Hey guys, when we're ready, we're bound to fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But right now, it's all just. Now I don't buy that. I mean, to me, that's, I mean, you fly something over my piece of property here in Gainesville, I'm taking that as an assault.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shoot it down, right?
You know what I mean? So that's just weird, man. And some people are quoting World War III. You know, people
Oh, really?
get into this crazy stuff.
Yeah, I saw actually this weekend. I went to go see Civil War.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's about the World War.
All right, dude. I'm out of touch, dude. I'm out of touch with life in some ways.
You gotta get out of this farm, bro. This farm is beautiful and all. You gotta get out of here, dog.
Dude, yeah, I'm disconnected from the whole damn thing, and yeah. So, by the way, before we keep talking, today we are multi-streaming to the Facebook, we are multi-streaming to the Instagram, and we're multi-streaming to, of course, the YouTube. So for those of you out there on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook that want to go ahead and write up something, give us a holler. We'll try and highlight your comments and bring it onto the show, answer back. And also, if you'd like to give us a call, the number scrolls in the bottom of the screen here, and it's also showing where it says call us at 352-234-4888. At any moment in the show, unless we're in the middle of a rant or something, but at any moment in the show, we could always answer a phone call, talk to anybody who wants to talk to us, and also our guest as well. If you have a question for y'all, if there's something we're talking about that piques your interest that you want to go ahead and pick his brain about, or kind of chime in into the conversation and join the conversation, please feel free to do so. 352-234-4888. So back on topic. Yeah, so that's going on.
Right.
Inflation is still through the roof.
That's
I haven't seen inflation cool off. I continue to hear some of these pundits talking about, oh yeah, inflation is down X percentage, or I'm like, dude,
Have they been to the supermarket or the gas station lately? At least here in Gainesville, everything's extremely expensive, dude.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to be able to go to, and I don't want to sound like that person because now I'm going to sound all this
You're
shit.
gonna
When I
sound
say,
like your dad.
I used to buy a
That's
Coke for a
right.
nickel.
Yeah.
So like when I was a kid, I used to go to Publix and I used to get 3 Snicker bars for $1. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, you were much. You're
No, I know. I wasn't buying
Not-
candy at your age.
not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were buying other kinds of
Yeah,
candy.
those are the kind of candy. I
Yeah.
know, but I do remember 99-cent eggs. A carton of eggs was 99 cents, dude.
Yeah. See, I don't remember that because I was too young to buy eggs,
Shit,
but my
how much-
priority was chocolate.
What is it now? Like 3-4 fucking bucks for 12 fucking eggs?
$3-4, dude.
What is
Well, I
it?
guess
More?
depends because we get like the organic eggs.
Oh, you guys get all that fancy shit with all the
Yeah.
fucking chickens you got here.
No, no, no,
You're
no.
fine?
We don't buy eggs anymore.
Oh,
No, but when we used to get the organic stuff. And dude, yeah, and during the peak of everything, like
Uh-huh.
post COVID and all the bullshit,
right,
it was like, dude, it was like $11, $12 for a carton of eggs.
dude. That see,
Yeah,
that to me is
and at the time we had the food truck, so we used to have to buy eggs to sell to people, and we would justify prices, and people would be like, "Oh, you don't have overhead, you don't have this." I was like, dude, I
What are you
mean, do you
talking
not do you
about?
not look around? The food ain't cheap.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I created a post where I put a diamond ring, and in the diamend ring I put an egg instead. And
Oh, I don't
was-
remember that, but that's funny as
I was
shit.
like, get her something she really desires. You know what I mean? An egg,
A huevo.
because it was freaking expensive.
She
dude.
might like 2 of those.
Have you received your tax refund?
No,
Me neither.
I haven't done taxes since 1975. No, I just haven't. You were like, "Go, this son of a bitch."
Yeah, you're so quirky that fucking things you say sometimes I believe you, man. What was I gonna say? Yeah, dude. I was reading an article yesterday where it was saying that some people, it's been years since they've received their tax refunds. Have you seen? Do you know
No, I
anybody
didn't
like
see that.
I know? Do you know anybody in that capacity that hasn't received their tax refund
No,
in
I
over a
I know,
year?
I know everybody that is doing it about almost like 3 months before, 4 months before, because they need their money
Yeah.
to get their. That's when you see them become. I just got new rims for the car, or I got my flat screen TV that I've wanted and shit. Everybody's waiting for their check, bro.
Yeah. I'm waiting for mine. Shit. I'm financially reshuffling quite a bit of stuff, and this money is going to help me out to kind of rebalance some of those things. So that's what actually got me into it. I was like, how long does this take? And I started reading articles of people saying it could take forever.
Well, dude, good thing you bought all that chicken. You could be selling eggs in the corner there.
Yeah. We got 8 more chickens. So now we have actually one died today, man.
Oh,
Yeah, one died today. So we have
Is
now
it big enough to eat? Put in a sandwich or some shit? Nothing.
if we took it out ourselves, maybe, but no, we didn't even do that. It just died abruptly. I don't even know what happened to it. And I ain't about to eat a chicken like that.
Oh yeah, it could have been
Who knows?
some funky.
Some weird
What is it?
thing.
Bird flu,
Chicken virus.
chicken virus.
And yeah, man, and talking about messed up things. The other day too, I was outside with my dog, and I threw a frisbee at her.
Just me and my dog.
Me and my dog, and I threw a frisbee at my dog, and I felt like my body was about to break, dude. I'm only 41. What the hell's going on,
Brother, because at 40 the fucking wheels fall off, man.
dude? I understand that, but like I talk to my parents or my
Mhm.
in-laws,
Yeah.
and they look at me and they go, "Oh, when I was you're still young, man. When I was your age, I used to do all these things." And I'm like, I feel like I can't do all
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
Yeah. Because they were brought up different, dude. You do what you do, code. You're like behind a fucking computer all day,
Thanks.
bro.
The way you say it, you do fucking code.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean that's a pretty exciting job, bro. But
Yeah.
you're like you're like 16 hours behind that screen, dude. I mean,
It's not just that, Abel. It's I don't know. I just feel like we have a lot more stress in today's world than maybe
well,
our
that
parents.
yes.
And I feel it, man. I feel it in my body. Just throwing a frisbee at my dog, I feel like I'm about to just disintegrate.
Dislocate your shoulders.
Yeah, dude. It's insane, man.
Tennis elbow.
Tennis elbow. And my dog just meanwhile it's like running back and forth, running back and forth, running back and forth, running back and forth. I'm like, how do you do it? You know what I mean? Just how do you do it? I don't even think when I was young I'd be able to do shit like that. I mean, animals are amazing. But so my overall just consensus of
Yes,
everything
let's hear it.
is what
Andy.
the fuck is going on, Abel?
Dude, we're falling apart, dog.
Falling
No,
apart.
just got to do exercise, eat right, man. Do
Oh
your
my
thing.
god! But you know what's good about
So I will tell you that I did learn a lot when I was in and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but when I was able to go Was it overseas? Well, not necessarily overseas, but when I went to Atlanta, when I was filming with the gentleman that we're gonna have now next, man, all these young cats were all working out before they got into the scene. They were doing push-ups. They were doing. I'm like, man, these guys are really into their health, man. I said maybe I should have started a long time ago.
For real. For real. It's like I was asking our guest last week, David
Uh-huh.
Herrera. I was like, dude, did you ever get to a point in the beginning where you were like, ah, it's too late? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I've done so much damage to the body that it's like,
Right.
even if I go now, it's like, okay, that's cute and all, but like what's done is done.
Yeah.
You
No,
know what I
I'll
mean?
be happy if I lose, that 20
Yeah,
pounds
but you're talking about that Hollywood weight. You just want to be sexy on the surface so you could get more roles.
to get more.
So you could
more
be on
pro-
season 2
So I could be on
of
season.
so you could be on season 2 of Collateral Interest. Collateral. Boom.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, man. Other than that, before we introduce our guest,
All right.
is there anything new going on with you, Abel?
No, my brother. That's basically it, dude. Nothing,
Yeah,
nothing
nothing.
exciting. I went to the movies.
You're
I
the
was
one who always
talking
has
to
something
Jack.
going on.
No, but I was here in Gainesville, bro. What do you think? I'm thinking of maybe going back to Miami eventually. This place is dead, even for a 53-year-old dude.
Miami's gotten contagious when you've been hanging out with me now.
No, man. So the
I'm
last
sending you down there to go do shit.
the last 2 months, I've been in Miami almost every other weekend.
Oh, that's true. Plus collateral interest.
Collateral interest, and I've been going down there to party, and I went down there to see, Aero Squadron, 94th Aero Squadron, and all the freestyle stuff. And I'm looking at, I'm like, man.
Elizabeth in Instagram says, he said, what do you do? Code. And she's just a bunch of laughing face. A lot of like laughing emojis. Yeah, Elizabeth, that's what he said. What do you do? Like code or some shit? Yeah, basically that's what he said.
Well,
We also get Rhythm 98 Miami, which
radio stations in the
radio station.
house.
Back in those days, sports, drinks were the garden hose. Yeah, 100% right.
Yeah, those are my Miami peeps.
Yeah. I told my kids about that the other day and their minds blew. They're like, Dad, you used to just drink out of like, the hose. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And then of course I have to say openly, that's probably why we have so many issues though.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there, kid. So let me go ahead before we bring on our guest. I want to load his fly content. Give us a song and dance there, Abel. Tell us the skinny while I load this thing up here.
No, my brother,
Not to put you on the spot.
No, I actually no. We let me tell you that my experience with this gentleman has been probably the best thing that has really ever happened, and it's not because he's our guest. It was just the experience of it all. It was that I was blessed enough to be able to get a director that's an actor's director. That if he sees something in you, that you that he like that he knows that you have that, man, he'll take the time and teach you and tell you, hey, listen, you do it like this, do it like that, do it another way. If you were in this situation, would you do this? Would you do that? And he explained to me the whole thing. This is how you should read a script. This is how you're supposed to, dissect the script. This is how you should stand like that. He would tell me, where are you looking at? Where are you looking at? I'm like, yeah, I don't know where to look at, man. Where am I supposed to look at it? He was like, okay, in this scene, put your eye over here. And on that scene, put your eye over there. I'm like, all right, oh yeah. He was like, hurry up. The mind has to be quick. Look, mine has to be quick. I mean, I learned a lot from him, to the point that I've worked with other ones since, and I just see that this organization, it's just not the same. The professionalism is not the same.
Well, Yaw is a Hollywood director, buddy.
I know.
That might be the difference.
That
might be the difference. My friend Yaw is a Hollywood director.
That's right. That's right.
Dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead and read him in, and as I read him in, I'm gonna show off this
This is
fly picture of my new Hollywood friend.
Check him out.
We got Agyapong. Oh my God! I've been having his name down, and right now, right on the spot, I almost blew it. So we have Agyapong today. He's our guest. So our guest today is an up and coming Hollywood director, writer, producer, and overall fly individual wearing fancy suits. I know he's not wearing a suit in this picture, but man, does he usually look clean, man.
He's always fly.
The dude is always fly.
You should see him when he's filming. He's always looking fly.
Yeah. He's the director, producer, writer of the upcoming Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Roku TV series. I don't want to put the overlay over his picture.
No.
We'll do it afterwards. Collateral Interest. And while we're talking about collateral interest, let me go ahead and remove this here, and I'm gonna show you guys the trailer for collateral interest before we get going.
Oh, that's some sexy stuff. Let you watch.
Yeah, that's some sick shit right here. Let's check out the trailer for collateral interest, guys.
The government will seek in accordance with Title 18 United States Code, Section 1981, A1A 33. Mr. Green, do you understand what has just been read to you?
How did I go from a multi-million-dollar business and living in a safe suburban neighborhood with a beautiful girlfriend to hanging out with loser drug dealers in the back of an Italian restaurant, watching a guy get his face burned off alive? The fucking cartel, $18 million. And they took my brother for ransom.
18 million? This how you gonna fucking do it? You gonna kill me in a fucking warehouse? Just give me a chance to get you your money, man.
I think you don't understand what I say, Dante. I say you coming with me to Mexico and kill the rest.
So how's the family?
Good. And yours?
I don't know, motherfucker. I haven't seen my little brother in a while. You tell me. You'll find out.
That's right, motherfucker.
Yo, grab your popcorn, your wife, and your side chick.
Let's welcome to a Cuban Dudes show, the one, the only Mr. Fresh and So Clean Hollywood director, y'all Agyapong, everybody. Let's welcome y'all.
What's up, man? Cuban Dudes. Thank you guys for having me, man. I was literally laughing the whole. You guys are funny, man. You guys are funny, dude. I was rolling.
That's what we're not even taking any classes to do this, man. We're just two dudes here just talking. Just some guys.
No, that was really natural, man.
Hey,
I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Yeah, no, man. I appreciate you being here, man. I know you got a really busy schedule, and with the release of the show tomorrow, I'm sure you got a lot of stuff going on, man. So I really appreciate your time and you taking the consideration to consider us to be on this show. So I thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, I want to jump into talking with you a little bit about your background. I always love talking about people's backgrounds, especially those that have an interesting pedigree for their career or what they do. Take us back to the past, man. I know you were born in the Bronx. You were raised in Long Island. It couldn't have been easy being a '90s kid in Long Island. How do you feel your past modeled who you are today as a director?
Perseverance, honestly. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, so very, very tough. My mom's first job coming here, migrating from Ghana to here. Her first job was KFC. Single mom. My dad, they got divorced at an early age. My dad worked in a hotel, so very middle class jobs, and low middle class jobs, and they had to just make ends meet. So we didn't have everything that we needed all the time, but we were able to survive. And through that, growing up, having to go to school to get free lunch and going around the school and asking everyone, yo, can I get $1? Can I get $1? That's where I guess my entrepreneurial skills kicked in. And then that was able to convert to film later on. That's how I was able to close certain big deals and get certain films on my resume because of the growing up, struggling and the things that I went through in my adolescent age. And yeah, it helped me, man. It helped me. It honestly helped me. Where some directors, some actors, and any type of, I guess, role in the industry may not be able to get all the hurdles that I was able to get through because of just difficulty, but I was able to get through because of my upbringing.
A very important follow-up question to this: is Wu-Tang really forever?
Thanks for having me.
Wu-Tang's for the babies, right? Right, Wu-Tang's for the babies. Yeah, man. Hey, it's not every day I get a guy from Long Island on our show, much less in general. Bring that up. Yeah, you don't have to answer that, man. So rumor has it, I did some research. I know Abe also enlightened me on this.
Mm-hmm.
You started off in the medical field. I know your parents or your siblings, you have those around you that are in the medical field, and you started in that avenue as well. What made you change from just that train of thought into going into entertainment and being a director?
So again, when my mom, like I said, she cursing and she had aspirations to do something better, obviously, so she could help us out. She later on went into the medical field after getting the, local jobs such as KFC, things of that nature, fast food jobs. She went into the medical field and became a physical therapist. And once she did that, she kind of influenced us to do the same thing because the security in that area, in that industry makes sense, right? The hospitals are always open regardless of what holiday it is. So I said, you're always going to have a job and education is the key to success. So got it. So we went to school. My brother wanted to be a doctor, sister, all of us set out to be doctors. And everyone takes different paths, eventually. My brother became a physician's assistant. My sister, first Black woman in Massachusetts neuro residency program. So my sister's a neurosurgeon in the next 2 years. She's currently a medical doctor. She's in neuro residency right now. My little brother ended up becoming an engineer and working for Paramount. So he's a computer engineer. He works for Paramount. So he's doing pretty well as well. And we all just sprouted out. But, the medical field for me, when it came down to me and it became my turn, I just wasn't too fond of it. Being in the hospital, I literally felt like I was in a prison, and hence why I said that at the
Mm.
premiere party. It's when you don't want to be somewhere, your mind is going to tell you don't want to be there, and eventually your body follows. So my body following suit, I walked out of that field and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. But before I divulge this information to my mom, I got to find out what else I can do because at the end of the day, I still have to, I have plans on having a family one day, and I still got to be able to survive. So I said, what else can I do? Went through the list, came down to film and said, now how do you make money doing film? Because this is cool. And here I am, man. 11 June makes 11 years. I was able to start off doing independent films. And once, I started making money doing it, that's when my mom, fully supported it. Like, okay, as long as you can make a living, you're okay. I'm happy with it. And I tell stories. I travel and, tell stories.
That must be interesting to go up to your mom who's successful in the medical field and be like, yeah, mom, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to be a movie guy instead, mom. I'm sure that must sound like music to your mom's ears.
Yeah, it wasn't, man. Everybody, and that's not just mom. That's your friends, family, your wife, your cousin, everyone. When you do something that's outside of the norm, that is not expected of you, people are always going to shun away from it, right? People are always afraid of things that are unprecedented or foreign. So this is foreign to my family, to my friends. No one's ever no. There are no entrepreneurs in my family. Everybody is always working for someone, whether that's in the medical field, regardless of how successful, they always have someone that's a boss. Me personally, I could never keep a job for some reason. I always had a different 9 to 5 hospital. I would always change jobs. My mom was always like, "What's wrong? This guy's either quitting or getting fired for every job." But I didn't understand the reason why is I dislike working for someone, and I didn't know about entrepreneurship because I was never taught that. So I was able to incorporate my creative skills with the entrepreneurial skills, and then I became a film director and then a businessman as well. So I would go out, talk to different clients, dental offices and physicians, and I brought that into that field as well. I was able to close deals in the medical field for different documentaries for Northwell. I work for Northwell. I'm doing a documentary now. I signed up for another document. So I was able to incorporate both worlds, business and film. And I think that's very imperative if you're going to go into any creative field, any type of artistry. You need to know how to do business because art doesn't sell on its own. You're going to have to sell it.
Yeah, and being a black man in general, a black man in the industry, a director. I'm sure, of course, the topic of race has come up, and just kind of either within your family, yourself, and your mind in general, just kind of pop culture, kind of in a certain way, just the stigma of it all. Have you have you have you fallen into a situation in your climb where race has kind of been somewhat of a mental crutch as you're coming up? And I'll give you an example. When sometimes somebody might say, hey, y'all, you know what? I'm not going to fund your project, or you might not be good enough for what I want to do. And you might think to yourself, well, of course, it's because I'm black. You know what I mean? Like, of course, that's not why they want to do it. Has something like that happened to you on your climb? Or have you tried to stay away from that train of thought, just trying to just do your thing, cut through, and not allow things like that to poison your brain?
Well, first and foremost, we all have to understand what you two gentlemen know already. Race plays a part in every single thing in this world,
Yep.
medically, socially. The list goes on. We've seen the Tuskegee Airmen. When I say medically, we've seen social experiments where a black couple with the same type of credentials and resumes, credit score goes in, and they don't approve the black couple, but they approve the other race.
Right.
So when I say race plays an aspect in every single thing, yes, it does, and there's evidence to back that what I'm saying. So with that being said, going into this field, it was no different. I understood, what I was up against. I understood that it's a predominantly white field and Caucasian field. There's not a lot of me. I'm the minority in that field, such as others, or most others. And I understood that. But when your talent shines bright, man, you're willing to work hard, coupled with your talent, you can get past any barriers. Because eventually they're gonna choose the right guy for the job, man. They're gonna choose regardless if you're green, yellow, white. They said if you let racism hold you back, you're gonna fail. Does it exist? Yes, I experienced it when I before film. Every day I experience it regardless. I go into 7-Eleven, no one knows. Oh, this guy is a Hollywood film director. He has a manager. He's selling films to. He's talking to Paramount. They don't know that. They see something else. They don't see that guy. But again, you're a representation of yourself, right? So you're gonna have to speak. You're gonna have to show your skill set to get past that. I had clients that said, "Oh, I don't know about this guy. Let me see your resume." And we're talking about 6-figure deals with these clients. Let me see your resume. Let me see what you've done. I don't know. Let's go with this guy. And the guy that they wanted to choose had about 1 or 2 short films under his belt and was about maybe 10 years younger than me. He was like 17 years old, 18 years old, just came out of college. And I'm like, they're going to choose a guy that has 2 short films that he shot with his friends in the backyard of his mom's house over me that has a feature film at one of the top 10 prestigious film festivals, screened next to Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan in 2019. Essence Magazine, HBO Magazine, only 4 directors in history with a John Singleton nomination. I'm one of the 4. You're going to choose this guy over me? So, you know what I'm saying? But I knew the reason. And that's why it's very important to educate yourself, man. If you're not educated, you're going to fall for a lot of holes. You're going to fall a lot of loopholes. So I knew about this prior to this. As a black man, I'm educated on race and how things go, as well as people joining your company. You're going to have a lot of people that want to work with you for the sole use of just using you to get to the next level, right? You have to understand. You have to get your energy right. That's why I was telling people before. Once your energy and your vision becomes clear, you're able to see through people that come around you. You know who's around just to use you to go to the next level. You know who's around you that has bad intentions and things like that. And that's why my circle is very, very small. I'm very, very intelligent, but sometimes you have to, work without talking. So I let my work speak for me. And usually once I enter a room, I've done several films, like I said, over 60 films, and predominantly white cast, several films. I'm the only black guy in the room, and they don't know who the director is. And as soon as I open my mouth and I'm able to articulate myself in a certain way, people are blown back. Like, what? I mean, literally have certain actors that send me screenshots like, this lady, I guess, judged you, but once you started speaking, there's certain precedents you set over the room, and now they know, okay, this is really the guy. So regardless of people are going to judge you, you just got to be able to go past that.
It seems like you were mentally strapped when you got into this game. You were like, okay, I know what I'm. It's almost like you had a foresight of saying, I know what I'm going to live and not live when I climb this ladder, and that's strong, man.
And thank you for that. And the reason why, again, so I didn't say this part. Well, I grew up in predominantly white neighborhoods, Caucasian neighborhoods, right? That was the demographic. And my family was usually the only black family. I told you my mom worked at KFC and eventually went up the ladder to become a physical therapist. So she was able to afford, certain housing in affluent areas. And because she was able to do that, working 2-3 jobs and live in these areas so that we can go to better schooling, right? Makes sense. We were the only black family in that community. And I was oftentimes bullied by people that didn't look like me. A lot of the times. My mom bought me a basketball court. I used to play by myself because nobody wanted to be my friend because of the color of my skin. And this is not something that I'm assuming. This is what they would outright tell you. Very frank. We don't want to play with you. My mom said, stay away from you because you're black. This is what they used to tell me. Wow. In Long Island. Yeah. So my mom bought me a basketball court and I used to play by myself. And once they noticed I didn't want to play with them or didn't need them, right? It wasn't a necessity. The next morning you'd wake up and the basketball court would be broken, smashed on the floor, and your basketball would be in their backyard and they're playing they're playing in the pool with your basketball soaked and everything. So a lot of things, man, playing with some of them, they lock the door and say, oh, our parents said you're not allowed inside. So going through all this stuff as a young kid and growing up as an adolescent and then going to the schools and you see the disparities, this is the armor I was able to build, right? So I understood as a black man and somebody that's a minority in the country in terms of numbers, you have to educate yourself and become educated and be a good representation of your people so that you can defend yourself when these type of people come in front of you and you're able to see through people. That's very, very important in terms of being a visionary. Because ABLE, for example, I don't just select people because of their credentials or how well they act, but character is what I look at. And for those reasons, that built my character. Like I said, so struggle builds success, man. It builds confidence.
And I want to give a round of applause to y'all's mom. You have that loaded there? From KFC to physical therapist, man. Come on, man.
That's big.
That ain't easy.
Yeah, that's no joke.
That's no joke.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
How does Hollywood actors, or simply someone who thinks they're hot shit, treat someone like yourself, a director who's kind of coming on the up and up? You're telling them what to do, where to stand, how to do it,
Good
and they've
question.
kind of been doing it for quite a bit, right? How is that? If you've experienced this yet, I'm sure if you haven't, I'm sure you will probably at some point. How do you think that they see you, and how do they respect or otherwise?
So fortunately for me, I have experienced it. When you're the new guy on the block, and when you're the new guy on the block in anything you do, this is my thing. They're always gonna doubt you, man. They're always gonna doubt you. And your skin tone is what they see first if you're working with certain people.
Yep.
And then comes the rest, right? So walking in the door, they're like, that's the director? I don't know. So I don't want to say any names, but certain Hollywood actors I work with, they doubted me the first time when they saw me. And again, I'm a very vocal person and I like to control the room to let people know I'm here. I'll always do that to set presence, especially a leader. I think it's very important to let your presence be known. So once I do that and let them know that you're on my time and this is my ship and I'm paying you to be here and we're under contract, this is how it's going to go. Usually things change. And that's why I said it's very important to set the precedence as a leader because the room will easily be swayed and the tide will turn if you don't, regardless of who's paying who. So you have to understand if you're a leader, you're going to step out there as a director with these Hollywood actors and certain people. You have to let them know, even though we're meeting, I'm offering you the opportunity. And that's the same, what do you call it? That's the same mindset I walk into the room with when I'm meeting with Hollywood execs. I met with Hollywood execs, still being humble and classy, but at the same time, not looking desperate and begging for an opportunity. And that says a lot without saying it, if that makes sense. You don't have to say it.
I believe in you, bro. I cast me for your next movie, y'all. I'm ready to work for you, sir. No, man, that's fire, man. Hey, no, it's the way you talk. Now I can see why Abel was so enthused working with you.
No,
I'm
you should
not
see.
even. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm being honest.
No, and everybody was there. Every time we were on set, it was like, yes,
Thank
sir, no, sir. Yeah, and everybody was very, very.
It's like they
polite,
say
very
in
courteous.
Spanish, "Tiene que darle papao." That's like
Yeah.
that's spanking. You're gonna start spanking those mother effers that don't get in line, man.
He made it clear that he was the boss, and so we treated him like one.
And thank you, Ava, for that. But in film, in any industry, you have to set a hierarchy. You can't go into your job tomorrow and put your feet on your boss's desk. So what makes you think you're going to come to my set and do the same thing, right? And you can go, like I said, and this I always tell people, if you don't like my rules or the way things are ran, work for someone else or work for yourself. Never feel like you're for. That's it. So now there's no argument anymore. There's no reason to argue and get upset. If you don't like it, you do your own thing, get another director, get a different company. I always tell people that, man. And once you do that, people are like, oh, he was upfront. He told you. And I always tell people prior to working with me, this is how I run it. So there's no surprises. And you give respect, you get respect. Same thing with Abel and my actors. I give 110% respect. I always do that. Always do that. It's very important.
What does it mean? What does it mean to become a quote Hollywood director? Are there any perks you get now versus what you were before quote Hollywood director?
So yeah, so I became a Hollywood director, up and coming Hollywood director. What was it? October.
That's when you got
October
SAG out, right?
2000.
You got your SAG card and all that stuff going on.
No, so let me explain that to you. Yeah, so with SAG, so SAG is for actors. That's what it is. Screen Actors Guild. So that's what it is. So SAG is only for actors like Abel. That's not. Directors is DGA. So I'm applying for I'm applying for the DJ, which is Directors Guild of America. I'm applying for that soon. Now, so I became a Hollywood director once I signed with. So you could. All right, this is how you become a Hollywood director. You become a Hollywood director by getting your first studio film and getting on a huge platform. So I did that back in 2019 when I signed with Gravis. Did that. Then, but I needed representation. That's how you really solidify yourself as a Hollywood director because you need to get into talking to studios. So you need a manager and agent, and those two are extremely hard to get. Because someone has to believe in you. Not only that, in order to believe in you, you have to present work. You have to show that I did this. You can't say I have scripts and that's. You think being a director stuff, wait till you start getting into the writing side where people have to read your work, right? Because you can't visualize it. Whereas a director, if you shot stuff, we could see it. You just got to press play. So being a director, I was able to get a Hollywood manager last October, 2023. 2023, I was able to get a Hollywood manager, and that's when I solidified myself. So after that, things went off. I was able to meet with, oh my God, so many different studios. I met with MGM, Paramount. I met with, my God, I'm meeting with Fox in a week. Jeez, I put that on the calendar.
What was that like, man? What was that like? What was that like to step into those rooms and be like, look at me here at Paramount, at MGM? Like, what did that feel like? What was the initial emotion of like, holy shit? Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So first, Man, you know what it is, man? At first, I was nervous. I was nervous at first.
Yeah,
But
overriding
every
emotion,
time,
nerves.
yeah, I was nervous. I'm like, dang, dude, are you for 11 years, 2023, 2013, I started this. We're in 2023, 10 years, and you finally did it. Now you're gonna meet with the exact. I'm literally, I'm seeing these people's names on the screen. Like my manager's telling me you got a meeting with this person. I'm like, dang, that's Ron Howard, man. That's a legendary director. I got a meeting with his company. I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, dang, when you dream it and really chase it for a long time, God will give it to you eventually. But you have to know what you're asking for because there's certain things that come with it. This is why God puts you through the bumps and the bruises. You got to fail a lot of times. See, when you try to take the shortcut and do it quick, you usually a gift given too soon. I always say is a curse. Understand that. If you give the keys to a 6-year-old to a Lamborghini, it's not a gift you gave him; it's a curse because he doesn't know how to drive it. He's going to crash. So you have to understand that a gift given too early is a curse. So I had to go through the 10 years of 50, 60 films. Half of my films people can't find because certain clients said, listen, we don't want to let it out, or I lost the footage, or my hard drives got messed up. I've been through so much, dude. So I had to go through all that for 10 years, a decade before I finally got to meet with these companies. So walking into the room for the first time, prior to the meeting, I was a little nervous. But there's a certain confidence and cloud of confidence that comes over you when you know yourself. And when I say when you know, whoa, Jolly, stop. So when I say when you know yourself, I'm talking about the struggles you've been through. You're not going to allow one meeting to dictate your career, if that makes sense. So when I walked into it, I said, dude, what are you nervous for? These people are just meeting you for the first 2-3 minutes. You went through 10 years of suffering, 10 years of traveling to different states and scraping up money from your college refund, 10 years of this, cancer diagnosis. Like there's so many different things you've been through. You're going to let these people that don't know you judge you and tell you if you're going to be successful or not. Come in with confidence and show them who you are. Your team knows who you are. The actors know who you are. People respect you on Instagram, but the world doesn't know you yet. And this is your first shot at the world knowing you. So now open your mouth and let it know who you are. Represent your country, your people, those that are the voiceless. I'm the voice for the voiceless because I have this stage. So all those things play in my mind every time I step on set and talk to Abel in the cartel. All those things play in my mind when I get to fly to the Dominican Republic and do a 6-figure TV show like Collateral Interest. A lot of people don't get these opportunities to be the head. And now I have a Hollywood manager and we're talking to studio. So I take advantage of the situation and not take it for granted.
Yeah, man, that's
awesome.
that's some clarity there. It's not every day that you talk to someone or you just you see someone who has that level of clarity, who kind of brings that. I mean, I think we all in a certain degree like to pretend like we come with things with that level of clarity. I know where I've been and you can't stop me, but like it's kind of like when you live the reality, you just kind of like are pure in that way. You know what I mean? It's kind of refreshing because a lot of people talk a lot of game, but you seem to be living it, man. I want to
Thank you,
talk a
man.
little bit about your style and genres as a director.
Okay. Okay. So my daughter's trying to come in.
Hey, I got 3 little ones myself.
Yeah, this is a family show.
She's
No
trying
worry,
to,
man.
she's trying to get, I'm trying to block her out. My wife can't get her.
He
But
wants that airtime.
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right? So my style and genres. So I started out doing horror films. That's how I started
Okay,
out.
okay. That's actually what I was gonna get into. I was gonna get into that. I have a note here written up. It says that from what I've noticed, your style is more kind of like suspense thriller. And I was gonna say, and I guess I might have missed that. That's my fault. But I was gonna ask you if you were leading up to like a major horror film, because I just kind of felt like you were heading in that direction.
You saw that,
Kind of like
huh?
a Jordan
Wait,
Peele
how
of
the heck
sorts.
wait, where'd that come from? How did you catch that?
That's studying, man. Studying on our
That's
guests.
weird as heck. I'll talk about. Wow, I'm shocked you said that. I'm not gonna lie. That really shocked me. That's funny, dude. That's really weird. I literally gave me goosebumps. But so yeah, leading up to that, so I started out doing horror film because have you guys ever heard of James Wan?
Yes.
He did Conjuring and Insidious, all those
Yes.
movies,
Yes.
those
Yes.
horror films.
Mm-hmm.
So I always loved horror films when I was younger, just growing up, because I was always scared of them. So I said, dang, if I can make people feel the way I felt, that'd be cool, because this is a bad feeling. So I said, all right, let's do it, dude. Let's start doing horror films. So I started doing horror films on YouTube and different stuff, doing short films around the neighborhood, stuff like that. And then I noticed, and this is just me, not to anyone else, but I started studying. I said, dang, do you know any horror film that's been nominated or won an Oscar? Abel and Andy, I'm asking you, name one. There is one, but other than that,
Could it be The Shining?
I was gonna go. I was gonna go with The Exorcist.
Oh, well, no.
that's it. Yes.
That's it.
Yep. I'm not sure if The Shining got nominated. I don't know if you would call that a horror, but I guess so. Yeah,
I don't
More
know.
like
more
a
thriller.
psychological
But
thriller almost.
yeah, I was gonna say thriller. Yeah, that's more thriller.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
horror, the only one to my knowledge, and I think I'm almost 100% correct, is The Exorcist, which is 1970 something.
Right.
You
I
get what I'm saying?
remember I couldn't sleep
1970,
for a
1980
year.
something. Oh yeah, that film. I mean, that's why it won the Oscar. It's a legendary film. So I said to myself, so after like 5, 6, 7 years, I'm like, dude, you're doing all these horror films because you see James Wan doing it. That's cool. But then eventually, I told myself, I said, I have to do films that make a difference, and that happened when I saw the movie Get Out. Anyone, you seen that, guys?
Yeah, that's a
Yes,
great movie.
definitely. Yeah. Jordan Peele, right? That's Jordan Peele, right?
Jordan Peele, my man. I said, dude, this whole time, all I was trying to do was entertain people. That's why I kept doing horror films. But yeah, you need to talk about social issues and the things you've been through or other people have been through, and you can still incorporate the horror. I said, wow, this is brilliant. That's why you got the Oscar. I
Yeah.
said, I need to stop just doing this demon movies I'm doing on YouTube and thrillers and stuff. I need to somehow incorporate social issues with entertainment. How do I do that? The things I've been through and other people are going through for the voiceless, again, that don't have the money to do films. How do I speak for those people but incorporate entertainment? I got it. And that's when the birth of the seat was born, which is that's how I blew. That's how I really blew up. That's when I got in magazines and all that stuff. I said, I'm gonna do a film about a girl loses her mom because the lady in her neighborhood, which is a cop, kidnaps her mom. Oh wow.
We got you. We got you. Go look for it, guys. It's on
Cuban dudes, man. So yeah, that's the birth of the
Imagine
seat.
if we actually had a budget.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I start to say to myself every day. So when I did that, I said, and it's funny enough, when I did that film, because I was inspired by Jordan Peele, Making a Difference, that film blew up. I got an Essence magazine, AF, people are calling, you're an ABFF, you got a John Singleton nomination, they want to interview, and everything just took off from there. And then after that, I did The Cure Game. Unfortunately, I didn't make that a feature. I should have, because that went big on YouTube. And then after that, that's when I said, you know what? I'm investing my money in films, but I'm not seeing anything back. I'm getting all these awards, but now I need to turn it into a business. So it's all steps. So then I said, I need to become a businessman now. Then I became a businessman and started doing films for clients. And I started making a living, traveling, this. And now I'm at a stage in my life where I said, okay, so now I make money. Like, this is what I do for a living. I make films for people. But now how can I make my films and make money? And that's Hollywood or independent film. So I came up with Collateral Interest. I was able to get a manager. They said, hey, listen, let's do a non-exclusive deal with Amazon, meaning you can sell it to different platforms, but you'll come to Amazon. And if your numbers are well, your manager and all of us will talk, and we'll go out and pitch it for a season 2 and see who wants to pick it up. So that, yeah, and tomorrow's the day. So, you know, it was all steps. And luckily for me and luckily for Abel was able to come across a guy that, because a lot of people, when they start out with their career, they don't get positions like Abel gets. They don't just they don't get roles where now you're going to Amazon Studios for a TV series, right? You see what I'm saying? So, and that's because of Abel's character. So that's why I always say it's always good to have a good character and build relationships, man. So that's how the career went, dude. That's why I started horror, and now I transitioned to thrillers. That's my main thing, which incorporates the both. That's why I like thrillers. Incorporates
With Collateral Interest, I kind of see you as like a hybrid between Jordan Peele and like a John Singleton. You're like somewhere in the middle there, right?
Wow.
It almost feels like going from horror to like crime. It's almost like you're kind of like in the middle there somewhere. You're like Jordan Peele and John Singleton and maybe some rando had a baby. And, a rando that's in the medical field had a baby. That would be you.
You know what's crazy? So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Abel's probably gonna be shocked to hear this. I'm trying to see how to say it. So I always wanted to do a gangster film or TV series, but that's not where my interest lies. I'm not interested in it at all. Like I'm not at all in that genre. That genre just came up because you say, yo, listen, let's go ahead and just do it. Let's do a gangster film, a TV series, a cartel show, because Narcos came out on Netflix. I said, damn, now that was a show, dude. That was a show. Almost 90% of the show was in subtitles, and it was phenomenal. So if I could do something with the cartel, mixing the Latinx race and then mixing, the FBA, the African American race, if I could mix the two and bring the cultures together, holy smokes, we got a show, dude. But do it in my way. And that's how Collateral Interest came about. But my primary interest lies in thrillers. So that's why Collateral Interest, when you watch it, it's very different from your normal cartel show. And someone pointed this out in another podcast. It's a side situation that the cartel is going through. So you're not going to see a major war between two cartels like they did in Narcos with buildings exploding. It's a focus on one person that did something wrong to the cartel, and it has that thriller feel to it. And that's what I love about it. That's what I love about Collateral that makes it so different. You get to know who Abel is, which played Oscar personally. There's certain things about him. You see, whereas Narcos, it was only Pablo, and then we all going to war, drugs, and all that. Where this one, I focus on each character to give it that thriller feel, and that was what I was able to bring to the Narcos style genre.
I like it.
Fire.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you a question about some of your characters. It seems like with the Birth of Deceit and with some other pieces that you've done before, you always seem to highlight like a strong African American character. African Americans always have that stigma in horror movies in particular, right? Where they're like the first ones to get killed off.
Right.
I mean, of course, the black guy got killed. Get that out of the way next. We know that was coming. But it seems like you have a focus, right, in making sure that your characters are strong. They're people who are intelligent. There's people that actually are human. Who would have thunk, right? Somebody who can actually make decisions.
Right.
How passionate are you about making sure that that's represented in film?
So first and foremost, what Hollywood likes to do in the industry is they like to put Latinx, male or female directors, and then people of color, like myself, right?
Mhm.
They like to put them in a box and say, you're a woman, you can only direct films like Barbie that have female leads. You're a Latinx director, you're only going to direct Latinx films. You're a black director, you're only going to direct black films. So coming into the industry, I knew that already, that's what they try to do. So that's why if you notice, you see my portfolio, Matilda was a Caucasian woman. If you look at, Middle Eastern rather, sorry. Matilda was a Middle Eastern woman with co-starring with a Caucasian woman. Birth of Deceit, I put a black woman in the lead. Last Patient coming up, 2 black women are the leads, co-starring with a white male. So it's very important to let the world know that Latinx people, including Cuban dudes, people like Cuban dudes, women, we're not stigmatized to do just one thing. We're not monolithic. We don't just have to film films with just women or Latinx people back. We can do all kinds of genre. And that's why my next film that I'm going to tell you guys a little bit down the line is a white female lead. So that's first and foremost, that shouldn't be subjected to doing certain kind of films. We can do everything, right? There are cultural differences, such as, like, let's say, take Martin Scorsese for example, him doing Goodfellas. Maybe John Singleton or Spike Lee couldn't have directed Goodfellas as well, because there's cultural differences where you see Martin Scorsese grew up in an Italian family. He understands the Sunday dinners with the spaghetti and meat. That's his culture. Different. Doesn't mean Spike Lee couldn't do it, but it may have been touches missing from Goodfellas and Casino, and vice versa. Could Martin Scorsese have directed Crooklyn like Spike Lee did? No, I don't think so, because it's cultural differences. So that is there. I'll leave that there. With that being said, when I direct a film with a Latinx, my next film, there's a Latinx family in it. When I direct films with Latinx people, black people, white people, Middle Eastern people, I take it upon myself and take the responsibility of incorporating their culture in it in some way or another, because there's a lack thereof of that we see on the screen. So it's very important for me when I do Latin. For example, this film, I had utmost respect for our Latinx brothers and sisters and said, listen, don't be afraid to speak the language. Don't be afraid to use certain dialects that the Mexicans use. Let's represent their culture in the finest way possible, right? And the same thing with black people. Let's incorporate our culture and things of that nature. Natural hair. I don't do weaves and stuff like that. I don't like that on my set. I want to show the natural hair. I need to make sure the lighting is different, because you need to understand lighting when it comes to lighting black people. And color grading is very important. So there's certain studies you have to do and go above and beyond to really hit it on the nail. So that I will say when I do that. I like to diversify my portfolio, but when I do our people specifically, there's certain things I like to do differently.
It seems to me like African Americans and Hispanics, we tend to always play. So we either play the villain, or we play the person who has ill intentions, or we also play, if we're the protagonist, we're like the scrub who has to work his way up. I'm allowed to say this because we're Hispanic. We're the Mexican, the house person, the Guadalupe. You know what I mean? Like somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who is on the come up, right, and has to go through this entire life battle. Whereas where we see a show, a typical run of the mill show of some white person, they're usually already halfway there, if not semi successful already.
Like
And
a rag to riches kind of thing always.
rag to riches, but it doesn't even feel that ragful, if you get what I mean.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
From that perspective. So I'm always fascinated by that. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, y'all, like me as a Cuban, in some ways, I wonder if you feel, actually this might be a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you feel this as an African American, but as a Cuban, whenever I see Hollywood say Hispanic, they usually mean Mexican. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, there's a lot of different kinds of Hispanics.
Yep.
There's Cubans, there's Puerto Ricans, there's Mexicans, Nicaraguans, there's Salvadorians, there's this, there's that. And you rarely see any of those other shades in, kind of represented. It's always Mexican, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of how it is. What part of Cuba is Mexico in? You know what I mean? I literally had a person in Vegas once ask me that question. So
Bananas.
So as an African American, do you sometimes see roles for African Americans and feel like, wow, dude, like there's so much depth to being black, and these people are always on this side of the spectrum?
Listen, man, back to what I said, and you just proved my point again. I said there's racism in every aspect of this world, and you just proved it again. I mean, film industry, that's been there for so long. When the Asians got into film, Bruce Lee, do you remember how they used to do the Asian films a long time ago with the buck teeth and the glasses and all that? And Bruce Lee came and said, no, we're not. Oh, yeah. You remember that? I mean, let's go back even further. Menstrual shows. I don't know if you gentlemen know what that is. When they used to do blackface, mocking black people back in the come on. So you have to understand film, and you have to understand the country. And that's why you're, as a creator and an artist, you have to understand your art. And Nina Simone, I quote, your art should always reflect the times. Always reflect the times. So I say that to say, yes, we always see that. Where the Latinx guy is the bad man and he's the rapist in the film. The black guy is the criminal robbing the bank. And then the white guy comes in, the white woman comes in, smooth dress, and she's beating up 10 black guys, and Steven Seagal is breaking on people's bones. And we've seen this for so long. This is why when they asked Jordan Peele, do you ever plan on making a movie with a white woman, a white man? His response was, we've seen that movie before. I'm doing something different. Yeah, how many movies have we seen like that? And again, nothing is wrong with doing films with white people, white males, white women. Nothing is wrong with that. It's just diversifying it and giving an even shot, a fair shot to everyone across the board, as opposed to always putting these people in the lead roles. That's what it's all about, being fair. So that's first and foremost. I want to put that out there because I've done films with white leads. So I want to put that out there.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yep.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were finishing your thought.
I was going to say, so when I got into the industry, I said, I'm going to take a different take. I'm not doing that with a Latinx guy and a Hispanic guy's the rapist. I'm not doing any of them kind of films, man. I'm not going to do it with a black guy is this and that. We're going to change things around. And, my manager's seen certain films and he's like, yeah, it's funny how you made the white guy the killer. He starts laughing and all that. You know what I'm saying? He's a white manager. So
the birth of deceit, the creepy white neighbor.
Oh, Jesus.
there you go. We change it up. That's it. You change it up, man. So
for sure. And Jordan Peele's dead on, man. We've already seen that movie.
That's what Jordan Peele said. We've seen that before, where the white guy's the lead in the suits, and it's still coming out. And Colin Farrell's playing a TV show on Apple TV called Sugar. Smooth guy with the suit beating people. It's like, come on, bro. How many times are we going to see this since the 60s and 50s? It's still going on. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's start putting women. Let's rotate it a little bit.
For sure. At least at the very minimum, for the freshness of it all. At the very least.
Of course.
Very least.
Well, at least they're moving forward with at least more women actresses and movies with more women leads. At least they're moving that direction. Now, are they white? Are they Latin? Like Marvel, let's say.
Then you start getting into a more complex, like a conversation we're having. How many times do you wake up in the middle of the night in cold sweats, feeling like you've worked on a major project that you've given your heart and soul for a what is the name of these people? These people that write up reviews, for one of these review people to just shit all over it.
Oh man, that's why I said I was trying to tell people, like, if you haven't been in this position before, you got to get ready because. Listen, dude, man, as an artist, man, if you can't take criticism, you got to get out of town, man. This is the field you're in. You're putting your work out publicly for people to criticize it and tell you whether they like it or they don't. It comes with the game. Now, am I going to sit here and say, oh, it didn't hurt me, it never did? Oh, yeah, it did. The first film where people were saying, it's all right, man, it's okay. And these are real film critics. I'm talking about Rotten Tomatoes. Anyone knows what that? These are real film critics, like people that esteemed critics rated my films, and they're like, It's okay, man. It's not that good. I was shocked at certain films, certain comments you see, like, dude, we put a lot of money, we shut the whole block down, we flipped cars, and then certain people are like, oh, the acting's horrible, man. I'm like, what, dude? Are you serious? So you just got to sharpen your tools. Say, listen, I'm gonna come back bigger. I was talking to my manager today about a certain situation, and my manager was like, that guy made a bad decision, man. We're doing this, that, and the third. Yeah, he should have did this, that, and the third. And I told my manager, listen, next time we go bigger. We're going to talk to Sarah Paulson. We're going to talk to Amanda Seyfried. And those are the people that we're lining up now to get ready for my next one, which are A-list Hollywood stars. So when that happens and you get bad reviews or feedback, you can't get emotional and be pissed off. Of course, artists are emotional. It's our work. But you also have to understand the audience is who you're doing it for, the people. So if they don't like it, you take it to heart, man, and you take it into consideration. You think about it and see how you can sharpen your tool if you want to take it in. Because then again, you do have some people that outright just say stuff just to hurt you. So you don't take those comments. Or Abel, your acting's horrible, just to say that because they're jealous. So you have to be able to decipher and read through the lines. But you definitely should be open to criticism.
Let's shift our focus, y'all, into the matters at hand.
Dun, dun, dun.
It is hold on, Abel, before you bring it up. Ready? It is.
Wait a second. Ready?
You got the thing?
I got it ready now.
Collateral interest week.
Yay!
Collateral interest. I want to now switch to a round of applause to y'all for such a major achievement, man. I wanted to ask you, y'all, is this by far the biggest project you've written, directed, and produced?
Yes, sir. We're going to start with the producing thing. This thing costs more than a house. We'll start there. So it killed me. Yeah, it killed
Current
me.
inflated market or house back in the early 2000s or something?
I'm talking balloon inflated, man. Current inflated.
Geez. Nice.
Yeah, so it costs that price of a house. This is my biggest, because this is the first project where I worked with Hollywood actors. You see what I'm saying? As an artist, at least my mindset, your next project always has to be bigger. Always. You have to strive to go bigger, man. Some way, somehow. Don't make no excuse. We don't want to hear it. I don't have the money. Find the answer. So my goal after Birth of the Sea, how do I top a John Singleton nomination? There's only 4 directors in history. They don't even give those awards out anymore. I'm one of the 4. You can't do a film worse than Birth of the Sea. Quality, we shot on some pretty high cameras. Okay, so I got to go higher. I got to shoot on a camera that's higher. Okay, cool. I didn't have any known actors in Birth of the Sea. So I got to get some known actors. You see, you just take little steps, but you have to go higher. Don't go this way. You have to go this way. So I said, I'm going to get DeAndre Bonds. I'm going to get Robert Lizardo, Hollywood legend.
You got to get Abel Cepeda.
Gotta get Abel Cepeda from Cuban dude, man. Florida. Gotta get my boy Abel Cepeda, man. Got Abel. Man, I got to be able to get good damn actors, which is Abel, man. I got to get people that can do it, that have the heart for it, that can stand up with DeAndre Bonds, that's been doing it for 30 years, that's currently on Snowfall, that just came off of 6 seasons, handpicked by John Singleton. I have to get someone that can stand up against Robert Lizardo that starred with Clint Eastwood on Netflix, topped at number 5. I have to be able to get someone that can pull in the numbers like NDO can with 1 million followers. Somebody that can pull in the numbers like Haha can with 8 million followers, with Will Smith and all these people following him and his friends. If I can put that together, we have a formula for success. And I was able to do that, man. I was able to pull it together. So that's why it became my biggest project, because Hollywood actors. So that was a new experience working with Hollywood actors. I was able to pull it together, and I was able to edit the trailer, edited the whole show, as a matter of fact, edited the whole show.
From beginning to end, how long was the process of the project?
2 years, 2022 to now, 2024. I finished July of 2023. July of 2023, I finished editing Collateral, and then we went for the distribution. Yeah, so July 2023. So 2022 started, and 2024 distribution. So 2 years total.
Nice. Yeah,
awesome.
2 years. I don't think I've ever spent more than
2 minutes on something or what?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, my mind is scrambling. What have I done that's so passionate? No, nothing.
And the reason that is well, again, self-financed. So that's the reason it took 2 years. When you have a studio backing you, it's obviously it's way less than that, depending on the budget and the things that go on in people's schedules. But usually a movie doesn't take 2 years to film. Like, again, depending on the budget and the schedules. But for example, my next film that I'm doing, I'm planning to do a month to 2. That's it in terms of shooting and done. Where you're doing a TV series, dude, I got to make sure Abel can come to Los Angeles the same time Manuel can. And then I have to make sure Kevin can get the same schedule. And I got to make sure Kat and Jeff can come with me to Los Angeles. So you're trying to take everyone's schedule and make it work. That's why it takes so long. Where a movie is, it's one and done. I don't need to call you back. We're going to be out here for a month. I'm getting hotels for everyone. Let's knock this movie out, and then I'll release it in the next year or so.
We have a question of a watcher on YouTube, which lines up with my next question, to be honest with you, which is Tara Sokolic asks, "What was your biggest challenge on set?" And my question also follows up with that. What was your biggest challenge? And also, you know, something juicy that maybe a lot of people don't know about the challenges you had on set. Something a little deeper than just saying, "Well, I had to wake up early, damn it."
so I think that's Kat's mom. So shout out to Kat's mom. I think it is. I think Tara and John, great people. Shout out to Kat, my girl. She's in LA right now. So shout out to them. Biggest challenge, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, yo. Listen, when you do, let me tell you something, and I want people to understand this. Life and the universe and God, whatever you believe, they prep you for big challenges. So when you go up against the big challenges, don't question if you're ready. You are. It's your time. It's your time. You put in the work already. So the challenges that arose on collateral interest, they weren't a challenge for me. So if you see on set, and this is honestly speaking, my DP would say we'd run into issues. This is my first time working with Kat and another girl. Her name is Amanda, and they were the ADs. And we were late with a shot. Something was happening. We were late on a shot. And Amanda, the AD, was freaking out a little, and Kat was freaking out a little because they didn't know me. So they're like, this is our first time working with this dude. This is a random guy from New York. We don't know how this guy's going to carry this film, but we're the ADs. We're supposed to get this together. Yeah, we're running late. And my DP he knows me for about 5-6 years. DP's a director of photography. That's the guy that shoots the films, if anyone doesn't know. He's a cameraman. And he said, guys, trust Yao. He's going to fix it. And the reason why he was so confident in that, we had about 10 minutes left. It's going to close. The sun is losing, and we had to drive about an hour or two away for the next scene. How are we going to fix this when you have 2 more scenes to shoot? What are we going to do? And Abel, you worked with me for a long time. When I'm thinking, when I'm going to solve a problem, I always say, give me a second. No one speak. And I solve it. And that comes with experience and being able to pivot, man. And certain directors don't have that skill set when there's 50 people looking at you and executive producers are wasting their money and time. And I was able to hone that skill. And the reason I was able to hone that skill is I've been on $200,000-$300,000 budget films before collateral interest, where people hired me to come do their film, came to set. Let me tell you, do you know the pressure when a man invests $600,000 or $400,000 into a film and comes on set and is watching you and invites his entire family to watch you, his cousins, his wife, and they're all sitting there like this, watching you direct? And again, only black guy there. And this is all different races on set. And you're the only black guy there, man, and they're watching you. So you know your back's against the wall. You have to make it work. We had a situation, 10 minutes left. We're in a multi-million-dollar mansion. This guy invested $200,000-$400,000 into a movie. His family is there. They're wearing the hat with the film logo on it that he invested in, and the film goes bad. The scene goes bad. 10 minutes left. The homeowner is going to throw us out. And everyone is looking. Yeah, what are we going to do? Oh, let's shoot out here near the pool. Okay, good. We're doing a pool scene. It starts to rain. Everyone's like, dude, you can't bring the cameras out there. Keep in mind, guys, this is 60, and Jeff can attest to this because Jeff was there. 60 to 70 people are looking at me, 10 minutes left. And this is why I said, as a leader, you take the responsibility when it's bad, and your team takes the accountability when it's good. You have to understand that when you're a leader. You're only accountable and responsible for when it's bad. When it's good, everyone gets the credit. You have to.
The mind has to be quick. I'll never forget that when you.
There you go. And this is why I learned it. 10 minutes left, Abel and Andy, and everyone is. This is literally. I remember this like yes, it's slow motion. They're all watching. Like, what is this guy gonna do? I got $500,000 on the line. His wife is there. His kids. Everyone's looking, and Jeff is looking at me like no one. You see, let me understand you. People don't understand the pressure that comes with being able to not look for anyone for answers. When you don't have the ability to look to left or right of you for someone to answer it for you, and you have to solve it, it's not a joke. That's when you're going to really be tested to see if you're really cut out to be a leader or not. And I've been in that position several times, and I solved it.
Yeah,
I was able to solve it.
I remember we actually experienced it at 3 o'clock in the morning in Chinatown in Los Angeles. Remember?
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go. That's another. I forgot.
yeah, we were in the back of the restaurant. We were doing this. We're like, yeah, they're gonna leave the lights on for us. Yeah, don't worry, we got this. We weren't halfway through. We had like what, like 5-10 minutes left on the scene. They cut the lights, and we're like, all right, now what are we gonna do? And you looked across the street, and you're like, I got it. Let me go check it out. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had to start all over again. We were like,
There
we
you
don't
go.
care, dude. We're gonna finish this scene because we got to take it home. It's the last day. And
There
we did
you go. And that's why. And so I was, and Abel is right. That's another. So there's so many stories where you have to be able to swim, and you're going to find out if you're really a shark or not. And I got out that situation at the end of the shoot. The executive producer comes up to me and says, "Dude, I'll never forget this. Shout out to Doc Coleman, a good friend of mine now. He says, you are phenomenal. I got to give it to you. 10 minutes on the clock. My money was riding on us, and you found a way to do it. You literally have to change the story to fit the change you're doing. That's the difficulty behind it. And you need the approval of the executive producer. So I was able to do that. So I say that to say, when Collateral Interest, I got on set, when people talk about I'm hungry, I'm tired, I mean, it's like, when you did it for 11 years, this is nothing versus the problems that I went through. My DP was so tired, he almost passed out. You know what I'm talking about, Abel? He almost passed out on set. And I put the camera on and I started filming myself.
Yes, you did.
If you remember that, that's episode 4. I started filming. So when you see episode 4, I filmed the ending scene of it. So this is why it's important as a leader. In DR, you have to be able to be versatile and learn stuff because you don't know when the clock is going to turn in someone else's favor. And that's how I got through it, man. 11 years of experience.
So experience, of course, we all know experience pays, and there's nothing wrong with just the confidence that comes with that, man. Just having that thing, you know what I mean? I have it in my professional career. Professionally, I'm in engineering. I'm in software development professionally. Besides this project, right? So I myself, I feel like sort of like y'all in my own way. You know what I mean? Whenever somebody gives me like this big challenge, I'm like, I got this, man. Get out of the way. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's like with the experience, you've been burned and you've had so many things happen in the past. You could already kind of like the minute you start to hear a problem, your brain is just like you're just solving right away. You're just starting to solve because you that's your world, that's your life. You know what I mean? So I completely understand. From the trailer, from what I gather, seems to be a story. Of course, I haven't seen the show yet, so I'm taking a swing here without revealing.
April 16th on
April 16th tomorrow on Amazon Prime Video, Tubi, and Roku TV. Roku TV. So seems to be a show about a guy who's somewhat in the wrong place at the wrong time, a guy who's kind of building his life and doing something, and it's sort of like the worst nightmare case to some of us, right? Where we kind of wake up in cold sweats and be like, oh my God, I had a dream that I did something wrong and actually went to prison and my life was perfect or something, right? So it seems to be a story along those lines, or correct me if I'm wrong, or is it a story about a guy who has had this in his blood on the up and up, and it was about to bite him at some point, and I mean, everybody saw that coming, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a guy that is doing home invasions. Obviously, that's the wrong thing to do. He's doing home invasions, and eventually, when you're running down the wrong path in life, you're going to meet a bigger and badder bully. It always happens, regardless of what you do. You always do something bad, you're going to meet a bigger and badder bully. And he got his fair share of it. He ran into the cartel, and now he tried to reverse things, and you can't when you get in too deep. So now it's going to show you when you make the wrong choices where it can take you, and he just spirals out of control. And I mean, when you guys see season 1, dude, if you know what I have planned for season 2, oh my goodness gracious!
I can't wait.
I'm telling you, that. Oh my God, dude. I'm going to take it to a different level, man. So the story, it's very different cartel story. It's a very, very different cartel story, man. But like I said, it's personalized. That's why I like this. You're going to see you're going to see Oscar have his relationship with somebody. You know who I'm talking. I don't want to go to the. Oscar has a relationship with somebody, and you're going to see how that gets crazy. So everybody has their own secret, life that they're living in, you know? So they're living in the shadows, man, and you're going to bring it to light. So season 1 is just season 1, self-finance, and season 2 is better.
How many episodes is it slotted for season 1?
Season 1 is 4 episodes, self-financed. It's 4 episodes. And like I said, studio's the same. If we do well, they're going to give us 8 episodes, 1 hour each. So that's 8 hours of collateral interest.
When do you find out? When would you find out if you get the 8 episodes in the beginning, like in?
No, so all right. So it can happen several ways. There's always, not one way to skin a cat, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it can happen one way where you do phenomenally well and you get a call at the end of 2 to 3 quarters, which is at the end of the year, December, around there, kind of. I'm sorry, 2 3 quarters, which would kind of leak into next year, 4 months. So that, You can do exceptionally well the first quarter, and then my team, meaning my manager, Hollywood manager, my team, they can go. What do you call it? They can go and pitch it to studios and say, "Hey, listen, these are the numbers. Do you want to do a season 2?" And the studio will go, "Oh my God, this did this in this amount of time. Tell them we'll approve a season 2." So there's multiple ways of doing. Then you have another way where an investor can see it and say, "Listen, this is what we want to do. We want dibs on it," which is obviously that's not the traditional route. Usually it's going to be the studio because of the names that we have involved and things of that nature. So it's usually going to be the studio. But those are the different ways it can happen. And honestly, the second way is what we want. We want to do exceptionally well first quarter where someone comes and says, "Listen, let's do a season 2." But I do understand these things take time. I mean, there's certain shows you've seen where it's 1 season, 2 season, and you don't hear about the show for a year, 2 years, and then it pops up. "Oh, they just approved season 3 of this show. Did you hear about it?" Yeah. So we see that, you know what I'm saying? So you see that all the time.
Besides the great Abel.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Oscar Fuente, that's my man.
In the house.
Besides the great Abel Cepeda, seems like you have some pretty strong core of actors and actresses for this project. And let me ask you something: is Robert Lasardo as scary looking in person as he looks like on the silver screen?
Oh, nah, man. Nah. He's not. Very nice guy. Very
nice dude.
You know, let me tell you, man. Oh, yeah. Just willing to work. He is very serious about acting. Robert Lasardo is extremely dude, he knew the script in and out, didn't even need the script. He knew it, like, okay, let's go. So if you change something, he liked my acting so much where I changed. So he's like, "Yeah, you're changing it. I love that part." So he was so dedicated and committed to the script. So I appreciate that about Robert, but he's still able to work with you. That's what I like about him. And the same with DeAndre Bonds. Phenomenal. DeAndre Bonds did a phenomenal job, man. And that's, again, it's important to have a team because at certain times I wasn't able to meet certain accommodations for Robert and DeAndre. And I'll highlight one where I wasn't able to come home at a certain time and Robert was waiting for a certain amount of time. Because things weren't planned out. Like I said, DR is just arbitrary where we have to travel here, we got to feed people. So Jeff Youngs, everybody knows Jeff, my business partner. Jeff was able to hold it down and control it and talk to Robert and just keep everyone's cool, man. So it's important to have a team to have these successful relationships with these people while Kat and I and everybody else were out shooting. So you need people in different areas to make this stuff happen, man. So I appreciate the team. I couldn't do it without the team.
You had a solid team. Cast and crew was solid, man. We felt like family. We all helped. Hey, there was times where I remember that my scenes were done. You had said, "All right, guys, cartel is done," and there was like a full day. And I remember calling Kat. I'm like, "Kat, I know that you guys are busy today, but man, I didn't come all the way over here to just sit in my room, man. Can I just help you guys at least, with some lights or some chairs or something?" And I just want to be part of the process. I'm really digging this. And then I remember I waited for like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get stuck in this house. And then Kat calls me and says, "You know what?" He says, y'all says, "Get some clothes, man. That he loves the way your attitude, your work ethic." He says, "We're going to do a scene." And I go, "Yeah, I'm going to help." He's like, "No, you're going to do a scene, but you're going to have to walk your ass all the way to the other house because we don't have a ride because we got other actors and other scenes." And I'm like, "Hold on a second." I snapped the pictures and I walked my ass over there and we created a scene on the way. Remember that we walked the scene with the that we went all the way to the town.
Yeah.
Giving out the shoes and the money with all the people. I mean, that was what an experience that was for me, man. I really enjoyed it all the way through. I mean, every episode, every scene, every day I loved it.
And I'm gonna say it again. And there's certain people when you work with as direct, because like I said, I did over 50 films. There's so many actors you work with, there's different cities, states, countries, and all that. But there's certain people that stick out to you, man, that stand out. Abel is one of those guys. And I always tell people, your character and personality will take you further than your talent, man. If you're a good person, genuinely a good person, not out to use people and get over on people, you're not rude. Like, people can read through that after a certain amount of time. When you genuinely just want to help. I mean, Jeff and I on the phone sometimes we're talking like, "Yo, Abel is solid, man. We love Abel." Like, it just pops up. Jeff and I were just talking about the other day, like, "Yo, Abel, yeah, we love Abel." Because he's not in the scene and he's doing things that are altruistic. It's not because of him. I don't want to be there so I can get on camera. I just want to learn the art. Yeah, I just want to be around you guys. We're all like a family. How can I help? And that stood out to us when Abel kept asking. So this is how you get phone calls a year from now. Abel, I'm doing a film with Sarah Paulson. How, you want to do a quick scene, like a cameo or something? And that's how you grow your career. It's all relationships and who you know. So hats off to Abel for being there when he didn't need to in DC, in DR, and just willing to help. And he landed that extra scene, which then later on translated to California. That's how you got the desert scene in California.
That's how I got the desert scene in California.
You see?
That was beautiful, man. And everything that you did in that in this TV series was like, after it was all done and said and done, and I sat back, I'm like, man, this guy is a genius, dude. So not only does he have Hollywood actors here, and then I remember I told you that time, I'm like, hey man, I didn't know that Endo Champ was the dude that kicks the people's pizzas out of their. And the guy's got millions of followers. And then I'm like, oh, we got Corey, the baseball cap from Miami. And I started noticing that a lot of the cast were also influencers that could act. I'm like, yo, this guy is brilliant, dude. I'm like, what a combination, man.
Thank you. And that was and thank you for highlighting that. And you understood the game plan behind it, because Jeff and I sat there. We said, Jeff, how can we get Hollywood stars that are affordable, again, right? Because you don't have 10, 20, 30 million dollars. How can we get Hollywood stars that are somewhat affordable and then mix them with people that have a large social media following? Because then you get both. You get killed two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Bingo. You get eyes of your project, and then you have good acting. You just have to train the influencers to be able to sit at the table with the Hollywood stars. And we were able to do it, man.
So we did. And then that's what I mean. And if I may add, that's why we had long and grueling rehearsals. If you're an actor, you have to go to rehearsals. Do not miss rehearsals. And when you're in between rehearsals, go to rehearsals.
Oh, some don't like it. Just to let you guys know, some don't like it.
That was part of the experience, and I loved it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but I've heard. you hear, you read, you see people talking about that kind of stuff all the time.
No, and he would say the power of the pen, and we would go through the scene, and if the scene, while it was being acted out on Zoom, it did not work, we were like right there on the spot. Edit. That's out. We're gonna go with the next one, and we would get a new script every 2 or 3 weeks, or the new one. We have another rehearsal until the day we were filming. So I still have I got a stack about Yay Big just for collateral interest like that
about Ya Big.
No, we got Yeah. And it was great, man. I mean, it's cool. I have them there just for for posterity and shit.
I'm happy you were able to make Abel happy for a little while.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for that.
No, man. Abel did it himself, man. Abel did it himself.
Hey, listen. I'm just messing with Abel. No, I'm messing with him. So Kevin Kazi Thomas as Dante Williams, from rapper now to actor. Is he somebody who you feel is kind of a diamond in the rough, sort of, from your experience working with him?
Kevin is no longer a diamond in the rough, man. He's a diamond out the rough now.
Walk like piss.
My fault.
No, it's all right. It's Nas. We respect Nas. So no, Kevin is no longer in the rough no more. I think tomorrow he's out the dirt. People are gonna know who he is. The guy. There's a difference. I always tell people there's a difference between talented and there's a difference between God gifted. You gotta understand the difference. You can be talented, like, oh yo, she's pretty good, and then there's a difference between, but that guy is God. He's God gifted. Like that doesn't come that. How the heck? And we've seen it, boxing, football. There's just certain people that are like, what in the world? And Kevin, to be able to do collateral interest, as vigorous as it was and strenuous, especially with a director like me that's seasoned. I'm not some guy that did 2 films. I'm coming to direct. I've done several. So I knew what I was looking for. And I was going to be hard on him because this is my biggest film. So I'm not going to choose a lead that doesn't know what he's doing. I don't care if you've done 3, 4 films. If you pass the audition and I said, you're the guy, I got to put you through some training. I got to put you through the ringer. And Kevin was able to go through that ringer with me, always rehearsing, taking it seriously. And it's just so easy to work with. When I say easy to work with Kevin, so easy. Certain actors, I'm just going to say, they like to argue. They don't want to do certain lines. No, I don't think that makes sense. With all due respect, I didn't ask you. I'm telling you what to do. There's a different. I'm not asking you if it makes sense. I'm telling you to do it.
You wrote them, you know?
You know what I mean? And then I got some actors in the past who say, I don't do rehearsals. And even the day of, until you press record, I'm going to give you like 40%, yeah? And then she got fired the next day. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people that don't want to put that effort in like Kevin did. Kevin put that effort in, and tomorrow you guys are going to see what the guy can do. And I think this is the beginning.
That's our Denzel, man.
Yeah.
Why does it always seem like rappers and musicians make great actors, but like baseball players, football players make horrible act. Why is it that athletes always you seen that, right? It's like athletes in movies, but like people that come from like the industry of entertainment, of course, they probably have theater background, maybe, you know, I mean, they grew up in the arts in that way. But I mean, it almost seems like a transition that's almost like organic when they go into acting, like they just could do it. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying?
First of all, let me tell you guys, you asking some good damn questions, man. I don't know where you got the questions from. These are some good questions. So I ain't gonna lie. So look, the reason I believe, I mean, we've seen sports is not an art. You see what I'm saying? It's something that you're either extremely good at, or you get better at. And art is something you create. You don't create football, you play football. You don't create hockey, you play hockey. You see what I'm saying? You don't
Great way of
create
putting
basketball. Yeah. Whereas music, you create. You have to make, in hip hop, the words have to rhyme. In hip hop, it's a reflection of the everyday struggles that everyone knows hip hop was birthed in the Bronx. It's a reflection of everyday struggles and what we went through. Rock and roll, jazz, it's all expression. Art is expression. So when you come from a musical background and then you're able to jump into film, it's the same expression, just in a different way. So you're able to teach artists, you're expressing yourself instead of writing lyrics on playing that guitar in a vigorous way because you're angry. You're just going to be angry in the scene. It's easier for them to conceptualize it, whereas sports is a little different.
It's almost like that muscle, that part of the brain has been worked out. So when they transition from one thing to the other, it's just kind of like I see that my oldest daughter, for example, is very gifted in the arts, and she just transitions to playing a song on the piano, and then she just could like sing something, and it's just like it's very matter of fact. You're just like, oh, of course, Gianna's got it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and it is true. I never thought about it that way.
There you go. I mean, that's just my opinion on it, because I did notice when I do work with, such as Kevin, a musician. Somebody else was a musician I worked with. I forgot who it was, but it was just so easy. The guy in episode 1, his name is Marcos. If anyone stood out the end of the trailer, you guys see that guy, Marcos?
Yeah.
I guess culinary arts. He's a chef. You see, he was able to. That Russian guy, his name is Marcos. At the end of the movie, he was able to do a great job.
The dude with the slick backed hair, right?
Yes, at the end of the trailer, if you see him, so I think it's an easy transition when it comes to people from music than it is for what's the name. But then again, I don't want to generalize.
We lost Abel. You're reloading.
Yeah, I'm reloading.
We lost Abel there for a second. He'll be right back. Like I said, y'all, from the very beginning before we started live, things happen. So yeah, Abel will be right back. Oh, there's Abel.
Is this still live right now? Is this still live on Instagram right now? Oh, nice.
No, it's just my video.
There you go. Okay. So Manu Cabrera, who we're going to have on Thursday, plays Jose Garcia, right? Jose Garcia, one of the leaders. Jose Andres Garcia. How was it working with someone whose experience predominantly is in the Spanish kind of area of acting? You know, how did you manage someone like that?
In my opinion, Manuel is the epitome of a gentleman.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it again. There's certain actors you work with where it's like, oh man, he's cool to work with, and then it's
just look at him. Look at that turtleneck. Look at that turtleneck.
Come on, man.
That's a gentleman's turtleneck.
The guy, he takes his. It's always good when you run into Kevin Thomas, Jaton Gilbert, Manuel Cabrera, people that dedicate themselves to the craft, not guys that are coming to kick around dust and see how it goes. I don't want to work with anyone like that. Manuel is so dedicated to the craft, and any director knows an actor that listens turn out to be some of the best actors in the world. That's the whole point, is to be directable. And Manuel can be directed. He is so easy to work with, always willing to lend a hand, and he's phenomenal. People have said it up and down. I love that guy. I love that. Who's that? That's Manuel. That's Manuel. And that's why when I did my other film with him 4 years ago, I said, yo, we need a cartel leader. Should I go for a Hollywood star? I remember I was on the phone with Jeff in the morning 2 summers ago. And I'm like, Jeff, we both said it. Jeff was like, oh, coach. And I said, I know who you're going to say. Manuel. And we both said, yes, call him. Called Manuel that morning, like 9 a.m. and said, Manuel, I need you in Atlanta, episode 2. He said, yeah, I'm there. And ever since then, we kicked it off again. So Manuel's one of my favorites. He's unbelievable to work with, dude. Like, he's so good. And he's able to help me translate also in DR. The whole cartel was able to help me translate. So I needed that. So that helped out. And I learned Spanish along the way.
Yeah, you did. And all around good dude.
Very good dude. Abel, didn't he help you with the script? Something like that.
He did help me with, so obviously since I was green, I was freaking out, man. And he told me, I told him, hey, can you call? Well, because I learned from you. So you told me, listen, when you guys are in a scene, get connected with your actors and go through the scene by yourselves. And I had a few scenes with him, so I did what you told me. And he was like, all right. So I was like, Manu, what am I gonna do, man? I don't even know how to do this. What do I do? Can we do this? He's like, all right, man, stop freaking out, and we're gonna go ahead and
You dropped them. Sorry.
I dropped again.
Yeah. But keep going. Keep
All
going.
right.
I'm sorry.
So then, what do I do, Manu? And he's like, listen, this is how we're gonna do that. So we get the scene. He tells me, so what are you supposed to do? Why are you here? What are you feeling? And we dissected the script. And then he's telling me, all right, so let's go through it. So what emotions? And then we would start writing all the emotions on the side of the scene. Of the words that you had placed there, and how should we say it? And then we went through it. Okay, say it like this, and say it like that, and say it. And then we found the right tone that we thought, which obviously, it wasn't the tone that you had said, because we were rehearsing and we were just waiting for me to give you something the day of rehearsal, and then we would correct it to the way you wanted it. But at least it gave me a baseline as an actor or a new actor at that time, to be able to work and give you something and be prepared for rehearsals for you to be able to correct me and get me to the next level. And that's where he helped me, and I appreciate him for that.
No, that's
Good
awesome.
dude, great dude.
Very good guy. Very good guy.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him on Thursday. What's the plan, y'all? What's the plan for the premiere tomorrow? Do you have a watch party at the crib? Are you popping bottles? What's the skinny, bro?
Yeah, so man, let me tell you something, man. When you're doing your what do you call it? I'm trying to pull it up now so I can show you guys. Hold on. How you do this? When you're doing your own film and you have your film coming out the next day, you really don't, for directors and actors say this too. Sometimes you don't want to watch the film.
I know.
You don't, it sounds crazy, but you don't want to watch the film. You kind of just want to sit back and wait for the reviews.
Ooh.
Because it's such an intense moment, man, where people are gonna come in and say, listen, either I really enjoyed this thing, or it was okay, or this was horrible. So, when you're gonna get the criticism back from your art, it's a very, very unusual spot. But after doing so many films, it's, when you left it all out there and did the best you could, and in your heart, it's good. Because as an artist, we know. If you did well or not, man. You know. Like, as an actor, Abel, like, dude, I know I did well. So I'm confident enough to know this thing is either one or two ways. When you have an exceptional film, as a director, one or two things are going to happen. It's no middle ground. There's no gray. This thing's going to shoot off and be the number one talked about thing starting tomorrow, or it's going to do exceptionally well, horrible. There's one or two things that are going to happen. There's no gray area. Usually when there's a gray area with your art, you didn't do too well. Like, I don't know how people are going to receive. That means you did bad. You know that. But when you see what I'm saying? When you create art and you're like, I don't know if people are going to like it.
Deep down inside, you really didn't try.
Yeah, exactly. I could have did better. I messed up here, messed up here. Then you kind of know, like, yeah, this might not turn out well. But I know I left it all out there with what I can do. I mean, I traveled to Dominican Republic. I could have went to California, made it easy, and just got some palm trees and said, we're going to pretend we're in Mexico. I told everyone, we're going to DR. Yeah, we're going to Dominican Republic. We're going to do the real thing. So I know I gave all I could and used the scenes that I know, were going to work. So tomorrow, I'm going to leave it to the people to judge, man, and see what they say about it. But I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
What is this project? This is my final question for you, y'all. And once again, man, I really appreciate your time, you being here with us, giving us the breakdown of your career, your life,
Yes, sir.
collateral interest, and everything, man.
Yes,
what does a project like this, and I have that in bold in my notes, what does a project like this symbolize for you? Do you feel this project will start to cement? I know we say we're going to wait and see, right? But what you feel, it's like you say, you know what you've put into it, right? Do you feel like a project like this will start to cement your rise as a serious Hollywood director?
Yes, I really do. Because I'm up and coming, I finally have Hollywood representation. I'm happy about that. And honestly, collateral interest is what got me that when I was able to see my resume. This series specifically, I feel will solidify me as a true up and coming Hollywood talent. The reason I say that is because I was able. You see, the way Hollywood works, it's unfortunate. You are not somebody unless you use somebody that was already in the door. Does anyone get that? You're
Yeah,
not
it's
somebody
like a
until
gentleman's
you.
club.
There you go. You need someone that's been in the door to stamp you and say he's good enough, guys. So I was
Right.
able to do that with this TV series by using, and that's why I said I have to get Hollywood talent, even though they're expensive. I have to literally, I have to. They charge a day what people make a month, literally. These Hollywood actors. So I have to get these talent regardless of cost because you need to prove yourself to the industry that this guy that has worked with Clint Eastwood and done 30 Hollywood films said he wants to work with me, and I'm one of the best to do it. Hollywood, that's one step. That's why I think it's going to solidify me. The second reason is numbers don't lie. You can say you're the best in the world, this, that, and the third. Tomorrow, when the reviews come back and people start saying, has anyone seen Collateral Interest? Oh my God, that show is, then that's when the talk starts. Because the thing is with me, that's different. Praise God. I'm already in the door with studios. I already met the CEOs of MGM, which is the creators of James Bond. I've met them. I'm meeting with Fox. Everyone, I don't have to tell you who that is. I'm meeting with Fox in the next week or two. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
met these people. They know my name on the first time. Different phone calls. Shonda Rhimes, their company. Bruckheimer. Anyone know who Bruckheimer is? Everyone knows who that is.
Brothers. Mm-hmm.
Bruckheimer. So they know me by first name. Like, oh, that's Yao. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So now it's a little different than just the filmmaker that's trying. They know me now. So all I have to do now, Collateral has to do numbers, and it's showtime, man. And then on top of that, you have to tell them what you have next, which I'll proudly tell you guys.
Hey,
Yeah, we're ready.
what better place to break it? Get up,
Yep.
El Cuba did
Gotta
so.
tell you, I gotta tell. Listen, I can't come on live and not tell you what. I can't come on Cuban Dudes and not tell the Cuban
Let's go.
Dudes what
Back
I
to the
got.
spotlight. Let's go. Give it.
Dude, so again, we did Collateral Interest. I worked with Hollywood Stars. That's coming out tomorrow. I'm very excited about that, waiting for the reviews to come in. And hey, let me tell you, before I tell you what I'm doing, one thing I learned too, and Abel, you're going to see this. Dude, those people that review your films, they don't hold back, man. And I'm talking about no fake profiles. They show their face and family and everything. They're going to tell you, you suck. You did a horrible job. And I was going through some of these reviews for other people's films, and I'm like, dang, these people don't hold back, man. At all. Like they're like, yo, this movie sucks. I wouldn't. One guy said, I'd rather clean a football field full of doo-doo than to watch this.
No.
Wow.
And when I saw that review, I'm like, do you know how hurtful that has to be to do something that took so long and put your time and money into it for someone to say, I'd rather clean a football field, a full 100 yards full of doo-doo than to watch this guy's movie. That right there, when I heard that, I said, yo,
right there.
it's savage. It's, you know what I'm saying? But this is the industry you signed up for. So I say that to say, stick to what you're good at until you get in the door before you research. So that's how I feel. So I know I'm good at, the collateral and stuff. I'm good at that. But what I shine at is what would birth to the seat was psychological thrillers. That's my main thing. So my next film,
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's go.
Let's hear
my
it.
next film, I'm taking a break from TV series. I like films more. I just love them. Because you get to tell the world in a certain amount of time. It's called Darker Than Night, man. And I'm telling you guys, listen, everybody listening right now, write down the name of that movie because when I drop the trailer, people are gonna lose it, dude. When you find out who's in the movie, who I'm working with, and the trailer and the plot, you're gonna lose it, guys. You're gonna lose it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's called Darker Than Night, psychological thriller. This type of movie has never been done before. Thank God, and we're currently writing it as we speak, and getting ready to start meeting with some studios and stuff. So this is gonna be big. This is gonna be big. So just get ready for that, guys. And I have some other stuff down the pipeline.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I love psychological thrillers. That's actually my favorite genre of movie. And you're just speaking my language there, man.
Really?
I'm
Wow.
excited to see what's coming out of that.
No, thank you, man. You were gonna start shooting 2025. And the key thing is I always tell Jeff this. Collateral's come out tomorrow, but guys, I am already 3 movies ahead of Collateral.
Yeah.
I have 2 projects that are done. I'm working on the 3rd now. And I'm speaking to all my artists out there. Whether Collateral does well or not, the key is to do the work and put it out there and move on. Do not dwell in one project. People do that a lot. They give their all to one album, one song, one movie, and it's like, this is the one, this is the one. Dark in the Night, the movie I'm talking about, the psychological thriller, it can flop. You see what I'm saying? It can completely flop. That's life. You can't dwell on it. You got to move on. And that's why it's important to keep the train going. And that's why I worked on other films and other projects. So Abel, Kevin, all my actors, all the people out there, you have to keep that train going. Don't slow down. Don't do one project and just, this is it. I'm going to be a big Hollywood actor. And then Collateral hits, but no one calls your phone. You always got to look for what's next, build relationships, and grow, my friend. So I'm 3 projects ahead. And I can't wait to show you guys what I got. I got a lot of surprises 2024 and 2025. You're going to find out very soon.
That's awesome.
Hey, man.
All right, let's give him applause on that.
Round of applause on all those achievements, all those cool things, and all those things coming up, and all those psychological thrillers. You got a home here with us, man. You know it not only because of Abel, but because you were gracious enough, with your time. And like I said, we are very thankful for those that come onto our show. We try to do our due diligence, and we do the best we can to promote people, and we appreciate their hard work and what they do and their time to be in this show. So anytime you got anything, man, going on, anytime you want to promote anything, whatever, hopefully from here to 2025, we're significantly much larger. We're even today, we get to give you a bigger, better platform, man, to promote whatever you need. You always have a home here with us, man. I appreciate you.
All right,
thank you, brothers. And the same to you, please. It goes in, one hairstyle wash the other. The same here. If I can do anything to help you guys out as well, I'm more than likely to do that. Another thing I want to throw out to you guys, because I know you cover the film space and all that other stuff. It's imperative for you and Abel to start looking to get into like film premieres, so you can start being the press during the night of large film premieres. Start getting the Denzel. That's how you guys will be able to build a relationship with people, an audience, and now you can have Denzel Washington come on your show and talk because he saw you at the New York City film premiere and you guys are interviewing people. So I'll talk to Abel after on how to get to those red carpets and do that. And in my next film and things like that, I'm always going to stop by, regardless of how big I get, what company I'm working with. My word is everything. I stand on it. So I'll stop by and help each other. We got to help each other out, man. So thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, man, to speak on your platform. And God bless.
1,000%, man. And to those that are watching and those that will rewatch in the future, do you have any final words you want to give out in general? Anything you want to say, man, about yourself, about your career in general? Give props to people, whatever you want to say, man.
I'm sorry, you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about this. Anybody want to say anything?
No.
Yeah, man. I wanna first and foremost thank my team, man. Jeff, Kat, the whole Agyapong Films dude, because I said it again, you need a team, and people don't understand that you can't do it alone. Success was never achieved alone. People always want to do it alone, be selfish because they want to get the end result. You need a team. So without Jeff, Kat, and the whole team, I couldn't do it. Jeff has been with me for about 5-6 years since Birth of the Seat. I want to take my hat off to obviously the people that paved the way before me. Take my hat off to my mom, obviously. Take my hat off to my actors, Rosalinda. Take my hat off to Ernie. Take my hat off to Corey, Flora, Manuel, Abel, like everyone that was able to come out there, because these people came to DR, man. These people traveled. So remember, as a leader, when people are following you, they're not following you because of the end result, but they're also following you and hoping that you're going to protect them along that way. So they believe in you. And that's very important. And leaders forget that. They only think, oh, these people are just with me because they want to benefit from the film. No, they're following me also because they feel like they're going to be protected and taken to that promised land. So I thank you, Abel, and everyone else that was able to join me in DR and other places in DC and Los Angeles. It takes a lot to make that decision and say, listen, I'm going to go do this film. I'm going to go do this. It's because of belief, and vice versa. I believe in you guys. That's why I chose you. So I just want to give a word of encouragement to whoever's looking at this that's not in a good place in their life, not winning, not doing well. As long as you wake up, I always tell people that everyone knows what I'm going to say. If you wake up, you're winning. You have a chance to win. You can change it, man. You can change it. Because the same way I'm talking to you guys now, I was once the guy at home listening to podcasts on YouTube, listening to people that were largely successful speak. And I said, damn, he's right. So if I can motivate somebody to do that, I just want to do the same. So I'm proud of everyone just sharing my work. Jatan, Kevin, just everyone. I was happy to meet great people. And I just want to continue, man. The purpose of my art is to change the world, not just for money and cars and Lamborghinis and forget all that. That goes when you leave. If I can leave something behind and use the financial, gain from film to go build water systems in Africa and Nigeria and just different countries and places in Cuba, if I can help out in any way possible and let film be the funnel to do that, that's really what I want to do, which we plan on doing as well. We have a show, Jeff and I, that we're going to be giving back to certain people every year. So we're coming out with that as well, man.
Excellent, man. Hey, I do want to say before you give us that round of applause, the Lambos and the Ferraris, dude. If you just want to hand them over to me,
No,
I'm all good
I
with
said
that.
no.
I'm all
Listen,
good with that. You
no,
could
no,
go to
no.
Cuba. You could go to. Hey, dude. Hey, I'm so thankful. My people, thank you, dude. But you can hand over that Lambo.
No, I said just I'm not doing it for just the Lambos and oh yeah. Oh, you think I don't like Ferraris, man? Oh, who don't like? Listen, everybody likes nice stuff, man. But my whole point of saying that before we close out is
I know.
there's always you need a why, and if your why to get to the end result, if your why is solely for materialistic things, you'll never get over the hump. Versus the man that's fighting to take his mom out the hospital because she has cancer, the man that's fighting to pay his grandma's medical bills. I'm that guy that's fighting to help people in different countries. That's my why. That's why I do film, to tell stories for people that are voiceless. My next film, Darker Than Night, is about schizophrenia, mental illnesses. That's my next film, Darker Night, is about schizophrenia. So I want to talk for certain people. I want to be the voice, not just for cars. And that's why I don't do films that are just slashes and killing people and
I
stuff.
know, man. I know, man. You're
So
a deep
that,
guy.
look, I still want the Ferraris, man. I still want the Ferraris, man. I need that.
Manifest.
I need
Yeah, man. Hey, I believe in you, man. I know you're definitely gonna go freaking far as hell, dude. I see it in you. I see that fire inside, man. I know I just met you, man, but I could just say already that I'm proud of you, man, and the achievements you've done and what's going to come. And I know Abel believes in you too, obviously, of course. So y'all, I'm sorry, I blanked on your last
So
name.
you guys keep saying it's Yao.
Yeah.
So Yao.
I asked you.
Why are you asking me? I always am
People say y'all. It's not y'all. It's Yao. You guys heard of Yao Ming, the basketball
Yao
player?
Ming, yeah.
That's how you say it. So Yao and then Agyapong.
I think Abel was just trying to set me up for failure because he messed up with a guest that we had before.
So now we're gonna use it now.
Oh my god!
He's
This
telling you.
whole time I'm gonna have to cut a clip now of me mispronouncing his name.
Look how ready he is. He's matching the back of his
matching the back of my thing. Yao, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you 100% once again, man. Your time. Round of applause once again. The world is yours, brother. I appreciate you, man. I'll be talking to you later. Thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Thank you, brothers. I appreciate you, man. Take care, man. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
We're out. Let's do it.
Bye.
Can't believe you had me this whole time mispronouncing his name.
No, that was the whole thing we've got, because I heard in the studios they were like calling him all bunch of stuff. And anyway, like again, dude, why are you asking me? I messed up the last guy with Rick Nahara.
Rick Naranjo.
Naranjo.
Oh lordy. I honestly I can't trust you with names.
No, so now we're gonna do the same short that you did with me.
You did this on purpose. I know you did it.
It makes good content.
You're right. Any content is good content, man.
Well,
yeah, man. Hey, that guy's excellent, dude.
No, he's great. He's great. And I will say that I tell a lot of people that Black and Brown is in Tinseltown and things are changing, bro.
Yeah,
and this guy's gonna do great.
And but it's how he says. You know, a lot of these stories have already been told before. So having that fresh perspective, that you know, like you mentioned, we were talking about Jordan Peele earlier, just that different lens through which to see a story,
right?
See a protagonist. It's like I said, at the very least, if anything. At the very least, it's refreshing. You know,
That's
I mean,
exactly
you don't get the same old formula, the same old script, and I'm happy.
Set of skills.
Yeah,
that guy.
And I'm happy that he is. He's kind of along those lines. Like I'm happy he's along those lines, and I'm happy he's already kind of like just doing big things, man.
He is.
Abel,
sir.
We've had a hell of a show today, man. This is the longest running show we've had.
This is it, almost 2
hours. Pretty soon we're gonna be like one of these 4-hour shows where we're gonna have chicks in the background,
dancing. No, we get the studio. I told you, open bar, Cuban cigars.
This segment is brought to you by
Domino's.
Not
pizza.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm kind of hungry, so that's why I was.
I think that was it.
Yeah, I was just thinking of one of those like manufacturers that makes those little plantain potato chip things. Oh, you're frozen there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that might be a good sign for us to end.
That's it,
guys. For those of you that have stuck on with us, I know there's been quite a bit of you today. Thank you so much for watching the show. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Don't walk away without subscribing, please, because it helps us out. We're trying to build up to 1,000 subscribers, and then from there we could platform to bigger and better things. So please subscribe, share with those that you know out there that may be interested in this kind of content. You know, our show, as we mentioned before, is driven to talk to people that are doing really cool things. Actors, actresses, musicians, comedians, entrepreneurs, digital influencers, whoever. and even people, outside that scope that are just doing something interesting or working on a cool project, whatever.
Give us a call.
And the whole gist, right? The whole point of our show is just to have this very loose, what we call Miami style, in quotes, conversation where we talk, we just talk openly, right? And we just talk the way we are. It's how we are. This is Miami. This is Cuba. This is Cuban in Miami, right? This is what we are. We live and breathe it. We ooze it.
This is Calle Ocho Hialeah.
It's not even an act, right? So that's the catch with our show. And if you have anybody out there who would be interested in watching our content, I would appreciate you to share. And with that being said, we had a hell of an episode, and we are out. Outie. This has been El Cuban Dudes Show with Andy and Abel. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@CubanDudes, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram @CubanDudes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.